Both Ontario and Quebec are reporting record high increases in the daily number of new COVID-19 cases. For a closer look at the numbers and some context, we're joined by Dr. Raywat Deonandan. He's a professor and epidemiologist with the Faculty of Health Sciences at the University of Ottawa. Doctor, thanks so much for being our guest. Let's first talk about what's driving the increase right now. And I want to note, because I think it's important, that testing is also at an all-time high.
Sure. So the numbers we're seeing now reflect activities from 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. So we're probably not seeing the results of school openings quite yet. Brace yourselves for that. That's coming. So we're seeing the socialization that people enjoyed at the end of August now in the numbers, and it's going to go higher. Testing has increased, yes, but it's unclear how much that testing is responsible for an increase in numbers. By some reckoning, the increase in cases exceeds the increase in testing capacity. So testing alone does not explain this. The cases are real, the penetration of a disease in the community is real, and the percent of cases that come back positive is high enough to suggest this is deeply penetrating into the community.
But it is still lower than it was in April, right? It's still lower in terms of percent-wise. So why should we still be worried?
Because we're on an incline, we're on a climbing gradient right now, and the models project we're going to have 1,000 cases per day. Today, that doesn't seem very extraordinary, right? 700 is pretty close to 1,000. And it's mostly in young people right now, but the proportion of cases amongst the young is diminishing, which means it's higher amongst the elderly. And we're starting to see an increase in hospitalization utilization. That means our ICU beds are going to be filled soon. Elective surgeries are going to be delayed, if not canceled. This is going to affect people's lives in real ways, maybe even leading to an increase in deaths, like well.
Okay, let me ask you this. I mean, we've seen restrictions, new restrictions introduced in Quebec City, in Montreal. In your opinion, should we see these further measures be introduced here in Ontario, in places like Toronto and Ottawa, where you are?
Yeah, 100%. By the time you act in response to things getting bad, it's too late. This disease requires a proactive kind of mentality. We have to act while things are still relatively stable before the crisis is upon us. If that means risking overreacting, then so be it, because the alternative is the sky falls down and we're too late. So yes, 100% we need to act now.
I want your expert analysis on two things. Do you think we're going to have a full lockdown before the end of the year? And do you think schools will close before the end of the year?
Okay, the lockdown, I don't think we'll have a full lockdown. And the reason for that is we have new tools now. We have public health resources deployed. We have mask wearing and distancing. We know how to do this more smartly. So a better approach would be targeted lockdown of certain sectors, certain geographies, and roll that around the province as needs be in response to the data. I think that's the way we'll probably do it, but who knows? School-wise, I think we're going to see some school closures before December, absolutely. Whether or not they stay closed is another matter entirely, but it's not looking promising right now. It's unclear what the threshold for school closing is. Is it 1 or 2 cases? Is it a death? Is it a death of a student or a teacher or a family member? Until these things are figured out, anything's possible.
You said that it's a lagging indicator in terms of deaths and in terms of hospitalization. So when do you think and how far do you think they're going to go up?
Oh, well, I have no idea how far they're going to go up. The modeling suggests 1,000 cases per day. The death rates will follow. I think we're going to see a crisis mode sometime in late October as the hospitals get overflowed. But I don't like to make predictions. I will say, though, that the numbers are trending in a concerning way. And if we're going to use data to make evidence-based decisions, we use these data right now to prevent the likely horrific outcome that's coming. Right? We don't want to respond to the horror as it's at our doorstep. We prevent the horror from happening. So let's do the right thing. Let's be proactive.
Okay. I know you don't have a crystal ball, but do you think we still have a chance right now? If we do something in the next couple weeks, 3 weeks, do you think we still have a chance to change things?
It's never too late. You're never too far down the road, the wrong road to turn around. Absolutely, we can turn this around. This is entirely predicated on human behavior, right? So the extent to which we choose to not socialize, the extent to which we choose not to go to the bar, not to have house parties, these things matter enormously. We can choose to invest in air purification systems, to have better mask wearing protocols, and open the doors on school buses. These are things we can do now.
Okay, Dr. Deonandan, thanks so much for this insightful conversation.
Thank you.